Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday. I know when I say happy Sunday and you see what's going on in the world, you must be thinking, what is she talking about? But I have this attitude in life, even though sometimes it's not easy. I believe that if we are still alive and we are still here, there must be a reason for it. So that's my attitude, and I wish all of you a good day, safe, and as happy as you can make it to be, because there is really a lot going on. I'm not going to talk much about the news that is breaking all around the world. Well, probably all around the world, although there are some places who probably don't pay that much attention to it, and that is the attack that President Trump ordered on Houthis. I'm not going to talk about it much because I really don't know anything about this topic. So I don't want to say it. I would rather refer you to those who know more about the region and can do some analysis about it. But then again, we have to wait and see what is this really all about. However, this is from today, March 16th, Sergei Lavrov from TASS urges to halt use of force in Red Sea during talk with Rubio. Moscow. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio called Russia's top diplomat Sergei Lavrov and informed him about the US decision to launch a military operation against the Houthis in the Red Sea region. Lavrov responded by indicating the need to cease the use of force, the Russian Foreign Ministry said. Quoting now the Foreign Ministry of Russia, on March 15th, at the initiative of the American side, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov held a telephone conversation with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio. During the talk, the US reported its decision to launch a military operation against the Houthi forces in the Red Sea region. In response to the reasoning presented by the American side, Sergei Lavrov emphasized the need for an immediate cessation of the use of force and the importance of all parties engaging in political dialogue to find a solution that prevents further bloodshed. The parties also discussed specific issues regarding the implementation of the mutual understanding reached during the meeting of high-ranking Russian and US officials on February 18th in Riyadh, I think that's how you say it. Sergei Lavrov and Marco Rubio agreed to maintain contact. All right, so now I found a video. This is a little bit on the lighter note with Sergei Lavrov. This will be posted on my Instagram and the stories, AniaK_44. I'm gonna play this for you, but let me just mute myself first and then I will share it. Oh, sorry guys. I didn't share it with you. I will mute myself and play the video.
It's you.
It's me, yes. Do you think anything will change in UK-Russian relations?
Diplomacy is not an art of guessing.
What is it?
You know the saying about the pudding. You understand that this is a pudding when you eat it. Ah, it's you.
It's me.
Don't we just love Sergei Lavrov? Now, let's go to President Putin. This is video from yesterday. Most of you probably seen it, some of you haven't, but it's a very short video, and this is addressing the Ukrainian troops.
Мы знаем, что новая администрация во главе с президентом Трампом делает все для того, чтобы восстановить хоть что-то из того, что было практически сведено к нулю, уничтожено прежней американской администрацией. Процесс этот непростой, если не сказать сложный, но тем не менее как всем хорошо известно, и у меня состоялся телефонный разговор с президентом Трампом. Состоялись первые контакты нашего министра иностранных дел со своим американским коллегой, и помощник президента России Ушаков встречался со своими визави. Так что в целом ситуация как бы начинает двигаться. Ну, посмотрим, что из этого получится. Прежде чем начать работу, хотел бы сказать, что мы ознакомились с сегодняшним обращением президента США господина Трампа пощадить жизни военнослужащих украинской армии, части которой заблокированы российскими войсками в зоне вторжения ВСУ в Курскую область. В этой связи обращаем внимание, что украинские боевики совершили в зоне вторжения многочисленные преступления против гражданского населения. Эти деяния, как я уже говорил, квалифицируются Генеральной прокуратурой Российской Федерации как терроризм. Вместе с тем, мы с пониманием относимся к призыву президента Трампа руководствоваться в отношении этих военнослужащих соображениями гуманитарного характера. В этой связи подчеркну, что в случае сложения оружия и сдачи в плен им будет гарантирована жизнь и достойное обращение в соответствии с нормами международного права и законами Российской Федерации. Для эффективной реализации призыва президента США необходим соответствующий приказ военно-политического руководства Украины своим воинским подразделениям сложить оружие и сдаться в плен.
So pretty obvious. I'm not sure if they have surrendered or not. They should. But, you know, do they ever act as we wish they would? Not necessarily. One more video with President Putin, and this is a message to the citizens of Western countries. Let me play this for you.
Услышали простые граждане западных государств. Вас сейчас настойчиво пытаются убедить в том, что все ваши трудности – это результат каких-то враждебных действий России, что из вашего собственного кошелька надо оплатить борьбу с мифической русской угрозой. Все это ложь. А правда в том, что текущие проблемы, с которыми сталкиваются миллионы людей на Западе, стали результатом многолетних действий правящих элит их государств. Их ошибок, близорукости и амбиций. Эти элиты думают не о том, как улучшить жизнь своих граждан в западных странах. Они одержимы своими корыстными интересами и сверхприбылями. Хочу, чтобы меня услышали простые граждане западных государств. Вас сейчас настойчиво пытаются убедить в том, что все ваши трудности – это результат каких-то враждебных действий России, что
And on that note, Alexander Lukashenko, president of Belarus, as you know, he was just visiting Moscow. He gave an interview, and this interview is already translated into English. This was on Russia News Channel. I highly recommend you to subscribe to it. I will play for you the part in which he is addressing the conflict between Russia and Europe. It's a very straight to the point interview. That's how he addresses things. And I think you will appreciate me playing this part because it's quite important. So let me play this video and then we will go to another interesting article that I came across. But this one is from Poland.
I didn't understand you about the peaceful trend. You were talking about a peaceful trend, but look at Europe. Germany and France have officially declared that in 5 years there will be a big war. And you are talking about a peaceful trend. Listen, maybe they need this? And I will tell you that Putin and the Russian leadership are not planning any war. And there will be no war in 5 years. Do you understand? We have had our fill of this example. And even you, Olga, you are a real fighter. Now there is a brutal war going on in the media. Would you support a war against Poland in 5 years? No. Why do we need this? Olga, we have no such plans. I once discussed the problem with Putin regarding the Europeans, when they started to scare us by saying that they would close the Baltic Sea, and then Russia would not be able to trade through the Baltic Sea. I jokingly said, you know, Vladimir Vladimirovich, we will have to escort our dry cargo ships with military vessels. We joked, we laughed, that's all. In this regard, and this is quite realistic. If they are trying to lock us up in violation of international rules, we are not trespassing on their territory, well, then we will have to think seriously about it. And we have never planned any attack on Europe, and they know it very well. You started talking about Europe. You probably saw. The Guardian is quoting you today, and it says that you are threatening again, that you are threatening the European Union. This time it seems that the warning of the Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, that the fate of Europe is now in their hands and the negotiation process between Russia and the United States should be taken very seriously. We need to listen to Lukashenko. He is sending a signal. What signal? You know. They didn't quote me quite accurately. Yesterday I said that God forbid if Russia and the United States reach an agreement without Europe, then Europe will be drained into the pipe, based on the position that the U.S. administration has taken today. And the U.S. has grounds, and it's not just that Europe interfered in the American elections, and they bombed this Trump. So Trump has a personal wormhole towards Europe. Based on the analysis of this situation, they need to think about what I said rather than engage in propaganda. If America and Russia reach an agreement, then Europe will really be drained into the pipe. It will be the end for them, as we say in Russia and Belarus. So they should listen and take their heads in their hands. If someone there has such an opportunity, they should do it. If Russia and America come to an agreement, then Europe will be drained into the pipe. In order for the Americans on one side and the Russians on the other side not to drive them into a pipe, into the one Putin spoke about yesterday, which they blew up, they need to come here now, not on their knees. We don't want them crawling here, and Putin doesn't want that. And let them say, guys, let's talk, let's negotiate. And who in Europe is capable of negotiating? That's the second question. That's the second question. Well, they are what they are. Olga, listen, who in Ukraine is capable of negotiating? Who? None of them. But we still talk to them. Well, we need to talk to those who want to. But we don't see such a passionate desire to talk with Belarus, with Russia, and so on. Although, I won't say, let Vladimir Vladimirovich say. He talked to the Ukrainians. They called him. They told him. He talked to some of them. But these were not public conversations. So I won't say, is this some kind of classified information? Yes, it is not public, until Vladimir Vladimirovich makes it public. But I do not have such authority. But he told me about it.
So you see, you can get a lot of info from those videos posted on Russia News. So make sure to subscribe there and follow it. I will attach the link down below in the description box. That's exactly how Lukashenko says. If Russia and United States come to the point of an agreement, Europe is drained completely. Stays in the swamp, huh? Now, guys, you might be wondering how Polish people, Polish men, would be able to serve in Polish army. Let me just read you. I came across this article a few days ago. I didn't, let me refresh it so I have English translation, just one second. I have not talked about it yet, but let's read this. In what conditions are Polish men, are they even able to serve in the military? The article is from 3 days ago. The military qualifications expose the problems of young Poles. It's a plaque. So let's read this. The main subject is the military qualification has begun, which mercilessly exposes the health problems of young Poles. The doctor's alarms about a real plague that even 19-year-olds are struggling with. This scale scares me. Even a few years ago, it did not exist. Admits Sławomir Chomik, who is a PhD doctor, MD PhD, a doctor who, I don't know these words, adjudicates in one of the medical commissions. So this is the doctor, I assume. And we're gonna read, the generation of weak people. On February the 3rd, the military qualification began. About 230,000 people will receive calls this year. These are, for example, young men born in 2006, but also women and people under 60 years of age with irregular status towards military service. They have not undergone qualifications before. Under identity verification, candidates undergo a psychological and medical examination, for example, like blood pressure measurement, weight, measuring assessment of posture, eyesight, hearing, verification of medical records, on the basis of which the category of fitness for military service is awarded. The topic arouses a lot of emotions, also due to concerns about the ability to defend Poland, which many of us have. Meanwhile, the form of young Poles who showed up for qualifiers is terrible. And this can even be more worrying. So it's not Putin, but the health condition of Polish men. Let me just close those commercials. What immediately catches the eye during the military qualification is the plaque of hypertension, overweight, and obesity. So overweight. I admit that this scale scares me because even a few years ago it did not exist. If, on the other hand, we look back at the decade or even earlier, such cases were isolated. Yeah, and I know this, guys. I have to tell you, this is from this doctor. I will continue with the article, but I just want to tell you that when I moved back to Poland, I saw a huge change. We didn't have, of course, we don't have as many obese people like you have in United States. And we know why is that, because they are doing this to people intentionally, right? With toxic food, and big pharma is feeding them with all those drugs, and you're not moving, you're driving the car, you know, that's another story, but that's intentional to kill those people. But I have never seen so many overweight people in Poland as I see right now. Young people, you know, like young men, young women. It's just horrible. We never had like this before when I was growing up. If you deal, I continue from this doctor, if you deal with it on a daily basis, it is very impressive, more so than dry medical statistics, especially since we are talking about 19-year-olds who, in addition, are not aware of how bad their health is. So they do nothing about it and automatically become candidates for stroke or heart failure at the age of 40, 50. It happens that we send such a people from the level of military qualification for in-depth diagnostics and consultation with a specialist, like cardiologist, admits the doctor. According to his estimates, up to about 30 to 40% of 19-year-olds who appear at the military qualification have a problem with hypertension. Well, they sit on the computer all the time. They don't really interact with people, most of them, right? 60% are overweight and about 30% struggle with obesity. During the military qualification, I see that overweight and obesity are in form of an epidemic. Unfortunately, we breed it from an early age. because the young generation has a pathological lack of exercise, which combined with a terrible diet, processed food, and energy drinks causes diseases such as hypertension or diabetes to appear many years earlier. Unfortunately, it's a vicious cycle because such a people avoid physical exertion, I think you say, like the plaque. So another thing is hypersensitive and withdrawn. So let's read a little bit of this and then I will just attach the link if you're interested. It's an absolute disaster. So what are they talking about? Strong army. During the military qualification, I observed something that I have probably never seen and I have many years of experience. The term used by psychologists, the Snowflake generation. I'm going to use it for the title of this video. Polish army will be built on the Snowflake generation. That's what I will do. Perfectly describes it. There are often oversensitive, withdrawn people who cannot cope with stress and betray it with their body posture. Yeah. So this is the current state of Polish youth. Not all of them, but I mean, pretty sad, isn't it? But then do they really care what condition they are in? They just want to use them as a meat for their, adventures. Now let me take you to comment of the day. I think that's all I have for you. This is from my live stream that I had on Friday with Alex Krainer. It was a great live stream. I really enjoyed this one because we went into historical topics. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you to see it because in history, there were many times when Russia was saving United States. And this is the story that we discussed with Alex Krainer. So I want to read the comment from a very generous viewer. And I'm really very, very moved by your generous donation because of you guys. I keep on going and I really appreciate this. Greg Nelson, again, thank you so much for your support. Your comment is this: such a good interview with Alex Krainer. Also, before the American Civil War, the US supported Russia in the Crimean War with shipments of coal, munition, and logistical supplies, largely as a foil to Great Britain's support of the Ottoman Empire. The Russian fleet's support of the Union blockade was a way to flank the British fleet when the Baltic Sea was vulnerable from a feared war involving Poland that never materialized. The point is, when US relations with Britain weaken, or with France as well, Russia becomes a natural ally. We are entering such a period. I love your podcast, the guests you choose, and your straightforward commentary. Greg, thank you so much. Really appreciate your comment again. Thank you for such a generous donation. Yes, this is another historical fact. I didn't mention it in my interview with Alex. I think we will go probably to that and address it as well. But that's all I have for you today, everyone. Really, thank you so much for watching and supporting my work in every possible way. Clicking the thumbs up, it's free of charge, and it helps my channel to be recommended by YouTube. All the links will be down below in the description box, so you can read the articles and watch the videos. And again, just to show you, those of you who are interested in those short clips that I play from Instagram, all you have to do, let me show you. You just go to, one moment. You just go to my main page. You see, this is my Instagram. And when you click on my profile, you will have those videos right there. And with this being said, PayPal, Patreon supporters, huge thank you. Local supporters, thank you so much. You have all the links down below. Lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And in spite of it all, please try to stay positive because it's very important for your health as well. Bye, everyone. I see you in another video.